Hi friends, welcome back to the Knits by Lillian podcast. My name's Lillian. This is a podcast where we talk about all things knitting, and today I have more of a traditional episode for us. I'm back with some whips, some finished objects. I've got all of my summer knitting wrapped up. We're moving into fall. I have the unthinkable beverage today. I have a hot coffee, which if you know me, that's crazy. But it's 55 degrees in Michigan today. Actually officially fall. Got a real sweater on. All is right in the world. So grab a bev, grab your knitting, and let's talk about what I've been working on recently. Okay, so this first finished object, I'm super excited about this. Guess who finally finished a pair of socks that match? So this is the Old Salt socks. It's patterned designed by so-and-so. And it's got colorwork sardines on the cuff. How cute is that? And then a little bit of color detail on the cuff here. I almost said the collar. I don't ever knit socks. And then something I thought was really fun is this little accent color on the toe. Just a couple rows of color work there. Kind of gives it like a vintagey retro vibe. But more importantly, guess who overcame single sock disease? I knitted these one at a time, and a lot of people told me that since I have so much trouble finishing socks, I should do them two at a time, but I was traveling. This was my Iceland travel project, and what I did was I only brought yarn for this one project so I couldn't get tired of it and cast something else on. And it worked. And then on the plane ride home, I made myself finish this before I cast on anything new with my freshly acquired yarn. So if you haven't seen the episode about Iceland, I posted a video that's a little bit more like travel vlog style, going around shopping at some yarn shops, some of the nature sites we saw, and then of course, yarn I collected and knitting I did along the way. So check that out. I'm really excited about how that video turned out. But these are so fun. So designed by so-and-so, and then Casey of Young Folk Knits are doing a Fish Girl Fall make-along. So anything that feels like fisherman's wool, fisherman inspired, and or more kitschy fish themed things like this fits into their excuse me. So I've got these finished in plenty of time. It's going for a few more months, so still plenty of time to jump on the train there. But I just thought these were so fun. This is Cascade sock yarn, and I now have quite a bit extra. Actually, the white and the red are Cascade, and then this blue, you can see there's like a little bit of variation there. Maybe this side shows it better in the blue. So that's a hand dyed from a local Michigan dyer. Totally blanking on who it is, but I'll link it below. But I really like how it has a little bit of depth, like the difference in the blues. I just thought that was really interesting and fun. So anything to keep me going on the socks, you know, anything to make me interested enough to knit the second one. So these knit up really fast. Once you get through the color work, first of all, I feel like the color work flew. And then once you get through that, it's just stockinette, which is great. So I just blocked these guys. But yeah, I'm super excited with how they turned out. I've already cast on a pair of socks in just the red color, so I think I'm just gonna do stockinette red socks with some of the leftovers. Now, it's a little tricky because that's getting me back into the will I only knit one sock and then give up itis. So also, excuse me, I'm just getting over a cold, so if I sound a little congested, don't worry about it. But I've seen some outfits, like fall outfits inspo on Pinterest that looks really fun. It's like jeans and then like a neutral sweater and then red socks, and that looks really fun. And I have Birkenstock clogs, like every person who knits socks, and I think it would be fun to pair all of that together. So that's my idea there. Some red socks coming down the pipe. Okay, so that was really fun. I highly recommend that pattern. It was so fun. How many times can I say it was fun? It was really fun. It was really engaging. If you haven't done color work before, it's a great intro because it's all in the round and it's pretty easy. Nothing is too crazy. You don't have to catch any floats. It's great. Okay, so we're gonna go a couple months back. So maybe around the beginning of the summer, midsummer, I cast on the Rota top by Irene Lin. And I decided somewhere along the line that I was gonna make it into a dress. So I'll insert a picture of the final dress so you can get an idea, but it turned out like actually fantastic. So here's what we've got. I'm just gonna hold it up here so you can see. It's long, okay? It's like mid-calf on me. Okay, you get the idea. So I followed the pattern for the shirt, or the top, I should say, without making any modifications. So, sorry, I still need to weave in some ends, it's just been blocked. This yarn is Sandnes Garden Line. So I've got the same exact stitch pattern, and I did everything to the pattern up top. So all of this ribbing is indicated as in the pattern. First of all, the stitch pattern looks amazing. And then I got to about my natural waist. And then I started adding some increases for the hips. It's gonna be really tough to show this, so you'll just have to follow with me. There's a little section on the side that has, there's like a knit on the end. There's a knit stitch on the edge of both sides that kind of is the seam, because in the shirt pattern it's a split hem, so it's kind of the spot where that hem splits at the bottom. So that's where I did my increases along, and you can kind of see here that we start increasing out at this point here. Did a few increases out for my hips, and then decreased back down in after that. It's a lot of fabric. It's a lot. So my vision here was to do kind of like a beach cover-up vibe. It honestly ended up a lot less see-through than I thought it was going to, so I think I could wear this as an actual dress if I put something underneath it. But I haven't figured out what I want to do there yet. I kind of want to do like a bandeau sports bra situation, and then maybe like a skirt, or maybe just a whole slip dress underneath. I don't know. Not 100% sure yet there. At the end, I just did some 2x2 rib. So I've tried this on a couple of times, but I haven't really walked around in it yet. My initial vision was that, so here's the ribbing column, that knit stitch on the side that I was talking about. So my vision here was that if, you know how when you wear a tight dress, sometimes you can't take a step that's very big because the hem like doesn't stretch enough, and then you're taking these like tiny little steps. So my vision was that if that was the case, I'm gonna go back in and steek up one of the sides, or maybe both the sides of this seam, to kind of open that up, and then essentially have it be a split hem like it is in the top pattern. So I'm honestly shocked with how well this turned out. I was telling my sibling about it, and I was like, yeah, I didn't think it was gonna turn out this well. You know, I'm really happy with how it fits. And it was so funny. They were like, yeah, you kept showing me updates and I thought it was gonna look like you were wearing a mesh bag. And I was like, you know what, real. Like those bags they sell at the farmer's market that are made out of like hemp or something super organic, and it's like a bunch of holes. Yeah, so it doesn't look like that. It actually, it looks really good. It blocked out to be pretty long too. I think I gained, I wanna say maybe like 4 to 6 inches in length when I blocked it. So I'm really happy with how it turned out. And then you can kind of see too, there's these sections of ribbing in here that are, it kind of breaks up the stitch pattern, and that's all indicated in the pattern. So then for the hem, I just did a longer section of 2x2 rib, since that kind of already fit in. And then I felt like doing it a little bit longer balanced the fact that you have rib up at the top as well for the neck. So honestly, I don't have that much to say about this. Everything I did was kind of random. I did make a lot of notes on how much I wanted to increase and where and at what rate. Basically, I just tried it on a bunch of times as I went, and then decided whether or not I needed more increases or decreases. And then this is kind of, stick with me. So I said it increased in length a lot when I blocked it. I also intentionally did all of my shaping a little bit higher than I thought would fit best. So it felt a little weird when I was trying it on because I wanted to like pull it down. So for example, like if this is your hips, right, and you think, okay, I want to increase to the maximum width here, I really did that here, like just a tad bit higher, because I knew it was going to gain a lot of length when it blocked because of all of these eyelet stitches. All of that opens up both ways. So it actually worked out great. I tried it on post blocking and it fits honestly like a glove. It feels amazing. We had an engagement party this weekend and I almost wore this to it, but it was like 85 degrees and I was like, I don't think I can stand being in a long knitted dress for hours and hours, and I couldn't figure out what I wanted to wear underneath it. So kind of TBD on that. This might be something that gets a lot more use next spring and summer, or maybe if we take a trip somewhere warm. I don't really know. There's nothing really on the books there, but I'm really excited with how this turned out, and it's kind of making me think I want to knit a dress for my wedding. Tell me I'm crazy. Somebody in the comments say, Lillian, don't do this. You're gonna hate the next however many months it takes you to make that. But I think it could be kind of cool. I don't know. I feel like it would be too much pressure to knit like the ceremony dress, but maybe I could knit like a rehearsal dinner dress or something. That way it could be like shorter. I don't know. I wasn't one of those girlies that like envisioned their wedding. No, I don't mean this in like a I'm not like other girls kind of way, because I am like other girls. Other girls are cool and fun and I like them. But I never really pictured myself like getting married and like picking out a dress. So all this to say, I'm trying to have a serious conversation. I wish I had a mic so I could clip it onto her tail. I don't know what kind of style of dress I want to wear, which means I don't know which kind of knit inspo I want to do. Do I want sleeves? I don't know. Do I want a v-neck? I don't know. I don't know. What kind of shape skirt do I want? No idea. So could be fun to knit something. Probably a bad idea, but it could be fun. Okay, we're spiraling. Really happy with how this turned out. Okay. You gotta get out of here, brother. It's really funny because I don't think I've ever knit something this long, and so I'm like, how do I fold this up? Honestly, this yarn was a great choice for this too, because it's cotton linen blend, I think. But it feels really good on the skin. Obviously, like I didn't want to knit a summer dress in merino wool, but I was tempted to, just so it maintained like the stitch structure. But honestly, this looks great. Okay, I gotta ditch a cat here. Hold on, BRB, come here. Okay, we're back from intermission there. Charged my camera battery, got some more coffee, kicked the cat out. We're back. And as always, I forgot until we're 15 minutes into the episode to discuss what I'm wearing. So this is a drop shoulder pullover I drafted last year that I actually have a pattern written up for, but I haven't had it tech edited or graded. Oops. So let me know if this is something you'd be interested in knitting. A little bit of detail on the edge there. I have a white shirt under it, so it's kind of adding to it. Few stripes, little collar and cuff detail there. So this yarn is Purl Soho Yonder. It's an alpaca. This is like a 14-15 stitch gauge, so it knit up really, really quick. I actually had a lot of people ask me about a pattern for this last year when I was writing it and wearing it. It's probably one of my most worn sweaters of the year. This yarn is left over from the infamous Lume pullover I knitted for my mom last year that I won't stop talking about. Don't worry, I have yarn to make a different brown and white pullover, so I can stop talking about that one because I'll just have one for myself, or a different brown and white floral pullover. But this yarn is really nice. It's very like heavy and comforting. I did a pretty wide drop shoulder, so it was a little wider than I meant it to be. Armhole should actually probably be in there, so that would be fixed on the actual pattern. And then I did a few decreases down the body just to pull all of that in, but I wanted it to be pretty oversized and drapey, but fits great. I wear this like a sweatshirt around the house, so let me know if you'd be interested in seeing a pattern for this in the future. Okay, so speaking of things that I forgot to mention, I think I talked about the yarn for this and then maybe never talked about the actual sweater. So this is another Klint Classic by Anne Bensel. If you've seen this channel before, you know I've knit a couple of these, and I kind of went off the pattern here. I've had some issues with it last time that I think might have been my own user error, but I followed the pattern and then just did my own short rows. So it's a beautiful navy blue. There we go. That's looking good. It's got these big raglan sections here, and then it's all over broken rib, or 2x2 broken rib. Really, really nice pattern. I love, the color is so good. So this yarn is cotton. It is Bluesky Fibers organic cotton. And there's not a ton to say about this. It's blue, it's pullover. I knitted it in cotton so that I could wear it on chilly summer nights, and I did. I've gotten a lot of wear out of this. Straight sleeve, and then just a little bit of decrease at the wrist here, not much. Sorry, it's kind of hard to show darker colored knits on camera, but it's pretty cropped. Nothing really crazy to say about this. But I think I talked about this yarn, like, I don't know, a few months ago, and then never updated what I knitted with it. And so now it's a finished object that has gotten a lot of wear out of. So love this guy. I think there would be a cool way to style this with the knitted dress, like beach cover up, and then beach cover up at night. Like if I tucked it in somehow so the waist is still like, I don't know, cinched or something. I think that would look cool. I don't know. There's got to be a way to like tie up the bottom of the sweater or something. Anyway, that would be kind of cool, like knit stacked on knit. But not a lot to say there. I really like that pattern. I think it's really well written. Just be careful if you're doing the short rows, because it's really easy to make it end up lopsided on accident. So love that guy. Nothing crazy there. So let's move on to some whips. Let me consult my whip list here. Okay. So I've cast on the Waffle loop sweater. So I talked about this in my things I want to knit for fall video, and it's looking amazing. Oh yeah, look at that color. So it's this really pretty like terracotta orange, like brick red situation, and the texture is just everything. So it's this all over like broken rib, sort of like waffly pattern, and then that extends down the sleeves. Very oversized here. We've got a turtleneck. None of this is blocked too, so be kind in the comments. And then it extends into this nice cable section on the front and the back. So I thought it was super cool the way that it's got a different texture sort of on the top, and then the cables start on the body, which is really nice. You can get all of your shoulder shaping done and then not start the cable until later. So this is Knitting for Olive Merino in the color Robin, and Soft Silk Mohair in the color Pomegranate. So they're pretty identical match there. I got this yarn like 1.5 years ago, so I don't know if Knitting for Olive still is doing this color, but I was looking at their website and I think it's pretty similar to the Rust colorway now. I don't know if it's an exact match or if they still have these and I just missed them, but we're in Toronto for a trip, and so I picked up this yarn and I've held on to it forever because Knitting for Olive, it's not, okay, some people will say this is cheap yarn. Personally, I feel like it's expensive, but the only reason I feel like it's expensive is because you have to hold 2 strands together for most, just to get gauge on most things. Like comparatively, for, I think it's 250 meters and 100 grams. This is a great deal for mohair, or for, sorry, for merino, compared to what a lot of other brands are doing. But with the cost of getting it in the US, and now tariffs are making it a little more expensive, Knitting for Olive is shipping to the US, but it's not the cheapest yarn. And so I really waffled, haha, because the Waffle loop pullover, really waffled about what to do with this yarn because it felt very special to me for a while. And so, you know how when you have yarn that's really fun and you're really excited to have, and then you freak out about what pattern is worthy to be knit with it? So I finally was like, I need to start knitting some things out of my stash. I've been excited to use this yarn forever, and I thought the color would look really cool with this pattern. So we went ahead, and it's got really, really nice drape. Like, it's just, it's lovely. So I've got the body done, it's on a holder, and then I'm gonna obviously make it a little longer. And then I've cast on one sleeve. I already ripped out this sleeve and did it again. So this pattern only has 3 sizes, so not the most size inclusive. I do think Other Loops has other patterns that are way more size inclusive, so I don't want to knock them for just this one, but yeah, not great. So be warned. I wasn't aware of that when I bought the pattern, but here we are, we're into it. So I cast on this sleeve. Obviously it's pretty wide, and I'm doing size 2, and I'm thinking I should have done size 1 because I wanted it to be oversized, but I don't have that much yarn. So I made the sleeve about 10 stitches thinner, like less wide than the pattern indicated for my size. And then the way the sleeve is written, you work straight and then do kind of these sharp decreases about halfway down. It kind of gives it like a pseudo balloon effect. The problem is, I don't like the look of it. Like, it looks a little too abrupt. I don't know, I haven't tried it on, so maybe I'm being too harsh. But the other problem is, I don't know if I have enough yarn to make the sleeves that wide and make the body as long as I want it to be. So I might end up ripping out this sleeve again, which I'm kind of sad because I made it to like this far with another 10 stitches. So I've spent a lot of time working on this sleeve. So I might put this on hold for a couple days and see how I'm feeling about it. Because I had a really fun time working the cables. They're very rhythmic. It's kind of these, like, I don't know, they kind of look like honeycomb cables, but they're not really. It's just kind of 2 cables facing inward toward each other. So they're really enjoyable to work. And then I feel like I'm really on Sleeve Island here too, because I feel like I've been working on this for a few days and I haven't made any progress because I started it over. So I'm thinking I might rip this out and then just start decreases right away, so it's a little bit more gradual, partly for the look, partly to save some yardage. But overall, I think this is looking pretty cool. I think the yarn goes really well with the pattern, and I think the color looks really cool. So I feel like this is going to be a great like fall piece, you know? The chest portion here with the cable split, I feel like looks really cool. So loving how that's turning out. I've got a couple more whips here, but while I'm talking about this yarn, I want to talk about an acquisition because, actually I should have set this down. I feel like the color is kind of similar. So I picked up some hand-dyed yarn from a local dyer out of Hand Fibers. Are you kidding? I hardly ever work with hand-dyed yarn because I feel like it's just very inconsistent between skeins, but I saw this and I was like, yeah, need it. So it kind of is similar to this, but I feel like it reads more a mauve-y purple, which I'm loving. Look at the depth in there, it's just so nice. So I ordered some mohair to go with this, and I was hoping that a dark purple mohair could really tone down some of the lighter pinker areas. So I got Knitting for Olive mohair in the color Bordeaux, which is this really lovely like deep wine purple, and then here's the yarn caked up. And I started this, I just cast this swatch on while we were at intermission waiting for my camera battery to charge, but I think it's working so well. So I think I am gonna have to alternate skeins just to avoid any color pooling, but the depth looks amazing, and I'm loving how it looks darker than kind of the lightest parts of the yarn, because I was really hoping to pull this purpley color and kind of subdue this like orangey pink, and I feel like that worked well, at least so far. So I'm really excited about that, but I feel like these colors together are kind of like, that looks kind of good. Like, this definitely is akin to the kind of lighter color in these skeins, so I'm excited. I don't know what I'm gonna knit with this yet. My initial thought was to just do like a stockinette pullover because there's so much color variation, but I kind of want to do something else. I kind of want to do cables. I don't have too much of it. I think I have about 900, maybe 1,000 yards. So I have enough to make a full sweater in my size, just nothing really oversized. I also was kind of thinking about a cardigan because I think it would be something, it would be fun to do like a dark purpley button with it. I think that could be cool, but I don't know, we'll see. But I really like how this looks, and I feel like it kind of goes with the vibe of the other one. So if you have a pattern suggestion, let me know. I'd be open to doing cables. I'd be open to do a cardigan. My initial thought was like the Monday sweater by Petite Knit, but I don't know. I feel like we could do something, I don't know. I feel like there's something cooler out there. Okay, so let me know. I am gonna go grab my next whip. BRB. Okay, so my next whip is a second sample of my pattern that's currently in testing, the Stoneflower pullover. It looks so good. It looks so good on camera. We love her. So it's an all over colorwork yoke and then a stockinette body, and worked in the round, got some short rows at the bottom and a folded collar. So this is a few weeks into testing now, and my test knitters are killing it. I've seen so many color combinations that I now want to cast on. Somebody did like a red one with white flowers, and it looked pretty good. I was kind of thinking of doing like a colorway like this as a base, but I already have this blue yarn. So this is Juniper Moon Fibers Patagonia Merino, the one I'm always talking about. And so I already have this in stash. It is the same as my initial sample. And normally if I'm gonna do a second sample, I try to do it in a different yarn, but I already have this. And so yeah, long story short, here we are. But I think this looks really cool. It's kind of giving similar vibes to the initial like porcelain sweater sample that Lane Knit did, the white and the blue. If you've seen it, you know what I mean, where it kind of looks like fancy dishware. And I feel like, I don't know, with the dark background, this collar detail pops so well that it has this little like V here of color work. I just love this. I think it turned out so well. I've been working on this pattern for like a year, almost a year. I think I started my first sample in December of last year, but really excited about this. I think it's turned out so well. We love her. There are, in the finished pattern, this pattern should be released end of November, early December probably. So quite a bit of time left on that test knit there. I usually try and give my test knitters 12 weeks if I can, 10 or 12 weeks. Although I will say this, for me at least, in size 3 or 4, knits up pretty fast because I feel like the color work is so addicting. People are always talking about like potato chip knits. This is so potato chippy for me because I feel like the whole time I'm like, ooh, what leaf size is next? And then before you know, you're done with the color work. And then this flower at the bottom kind of feels like a reward when you've gotten to the end, and then yeah, stockinette. So where was I going with this? Yeah, it'll be released in a couple months. There are different charts of the flowering leaves for different sizes. So everything has the same overall look. There's just slight differences in the different leaves and in the flower shape from size to size. But overall, it really looks very similar. But yeah, love this. Not much to say there. Test is going great. No major issues as far as pattern correction so far, which is always a win. It's what we like to hear. Graded for 10 sizes, 32 inch to I think 64 inch chest circumference. I think that's it. I kind of want to do a third sample, and I'm kind of thinking about doing a cardigan and steeking one, but I don't know, that feels scary, but I kind of want to do it. I think the red version would be really cute as a steeked cardigan. What do you think? I mean, like, if you could split it, I'd have to line it up so I could steek, I think, in between motifs, and then maybe add like a couple additional stitches in here to then reinforce. But I think it would look so cool. I don't know. I don't want to say that out loud because I don't want anyone to hold me to it. I just kind of want to try it secretly and then let you know if it works. But yeah, loving this guy, looking really cool. I don't think really a ton to say there either. Okay. what else do we have to discuss? I did cast on another pair of socks that I think I mentioned, but I literally have like 2 rows of ribbing done, so nothing really to see there. If you saw my Iceland video, you will have seen that I got this book of Icelandic mitten patterns, which I talked about in that other video. It's very, it's really cool. It's 25 patterns that are Icelandic knit inspired. Here's a few more on the back. Colorwork mittens. And then I cast on a pair. I got some Icelandic yarn while I was in Iceland because it was one of the recommended yarns for the mittens. And I cast on this one here. So we've got some low and high contrast at the same time. I've already split. There's going to be a thumb here. And then we've got this real dark blue. And then in between there are these little diamonds in a lighter blue. So I think that's really it kind of gives it some depth. I don't know. I went back and forth on whether or not it was just too hard to see, but I feel like, I don't know, I feel like it kind of looks cool. So I don't think I've really made any progress on this since the Iceland video. So if you've seen that, you haven't missed anything, but I have a couple more mittens I want to cast on. I also got this brown yarn. I'm in a big brown yarn phase. It's a Norwegian wool. But look at that, it's just such a nice like warm tone. So I think I'm gonna do that and then hold it with this white Icelandic to do some brown and white mittens because I think it would look really classic. And I have cold hands. I'm a cold fingy girly, so I know it's something that I would actually get a lot of use out of. All right, I think that might be it for everything I have for today. Let me know what I should cast on with this. I'm looking for ideas, but other than that, I think that's all I have to talk about today. Thanks for catching up on everything I've been working on recently. Comment down below what you've been working on. Don't forget to like and subscribe so that you don't miss any videos in the future, and you can stay up to date on what I'm knitting, what patterns I'm working on, and I can stay up to date on what you're working on. But thanks for watching if you made it this far. We'll see you next time. Bye.